Stick with me for just the next few minutes, and I promise you this, I'm going to show you how to see the invisible. We're talking about the hidden threats, the ones that could be silently targeting your business at this very moment. So, let's jump right in.
So, let me ask you something straight up. What do you think is the single biggest threat to everything you've worked so hard to build? I mean, is it your competition, the shaky economy, maybe some new government regulation? It's a really tough question, but the answer, it's probably not what you're thinking.
That's right. The biggest threat is the one that is completely off your radar. It's the risk you haven't even thought of yet, the problem you have no plan for. And believe me, what you don't know can absolutely 100% hurt you.
And the cost of being blindsided like that? Oh, it is steep. We're not just talking about a bad financial quarter. An unidentified risk can lead to absolutely crippling fines, a reputation that could take decades to rebuild, or, and I've seen this happen, total business failure. These aren't hypotheticals. They are the real-world consequences.
So here's the bottom line. You can't fight an enemy you can't see. Protecting your business isn't about just hoping for the best or worrying all the time. It's about having a professional, systematic process that's designed specifically to make those invisible risks visible.
Now, to even start building that process, we've got to be speaking the same language. The first key term you have to know is exposure. Just think of it like this. An exposure is any situation that basically opens the door to a potential loss. It's not the loss itself, but it's the condition that makes that loss possible.
Okay, next up is peril. A peril is the thing that actually causes the loss. So, if an exposure is that open door we just talked about, the peril is the thing that comes walking right through it. It's the fire, the flood, the lawsuit. It's the direct cause.
And that brings us to our third term, hazard. A hazard is anything that makes the peril more likely to happen. It's like pouring gasoline right next to that open door. The gasoline doesn't start the fire, but you better believe it dramatically increases the chance that a fire is going to start and spread like crazy.
All right, let's make this crystal clear with a real-world example so you can see how these three ideas work together. Imagine your business is located in Tornado Alley. Well, just being there, that's your exposure. The tornado itself, that's the peril. And what if your building is old and wasn't built to handle high winds? Well, that's the hazard. It's the factor that makes it way more likely the peril will cause a devastating loss. See how it all connects?
Okay, so now that we have the vocabulary down, how in the world do we begin to organize this chaos of potential threats? A real professional process doesn't just make a random list of worries. No, it starts by sorting every possible risk into universal categories. It brings order to the chaos.
And here's what's so powerful about this. Every single threat you can possibly think of, from inflation tanking your profits, to a data breach, to a new safety regulation, every single one falls into one of these 7 classes. This framework forces you to think broadly, so you don't miss an entire category of risk.
So those 7 classes cover the whole universe of risk. But to make this actually useful for you, we have to bring it down to earth, to your specific business. And the good news is, every single risk your company faces can be neatly sorted into just 4 logical areas.
Now this is where the rubber really meets the road for you. Is the threat to your property, like your physical building or even your patents? Is it a human resources risk, like your top salesperson suddenly quitting? Maybe it's a liability risk, like a customer suing you. Or is it a net income risk that directly threatens your profitability? Every single threat fits into one of these 4 buckets. And I really want to pause here, because if you only take one thing away from this, let it be this. You cannot manage a risk, you can't analyze it, you certainly can't insure against it if you haven't identified it first. Everything starts right here. This is the foundation of professional risk management.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, doesn't it? But how do you actually go out and find these hidden threats in the real world? Well, it's not about having some magic crystal ball. It's about having the right set of tools.
A true professional doesn't just walk around hoping to spot a problem. They use a systematic toolkit, just like this one. They dig into contracts, they analyze financial statements, they do physical inspections, they review every line of your insurance policies. Each one of these tools is designed to uncover a different type of hidden risk, making sure nothing slips through the cracks.
And this slide. This really gets to the heart of the whole thing. The amateur approach is all about reacting. It's about worrying about the problems you can already see and just feeling constantly uncertain. But the professional approach, it's proactive. It is a system that gives you clarity, and most importantly, it gives you control over your own future. So when you think about everything that's on the line, your money, your people, your future, I want you to remember this number: 1. It only takes one overlooked risk, one unidentified threat, one hidden vulnerability, just one to threaten everything.
So today we've basically walked through the process of flipping on the lights in a dark room and finally seeing what's really there. This identification process, it is the essential first step. It takes you from a position of vulnerability to a position of strength. But of course, just seeing the risks, that's only the beginning.
And that leads us to the final and maybe the most critical question. You now have a framework, a way to see the invisible risks that have been hiding in your business, so what are you going to do about them? Do you have a plan? Because seeing the risk is one thing, but having a plan, that's everything.